students, let I introduce how to draw the structure of human male gamete, that is sperm. The typical part is acrosome, and next part after is acrosome is head, and just after the head there is the middle piece. Actually the length of middle piece is 4 times greater than the head cell, but it is not possible to occupy the standard diagram of sperm because of having not enough space in the page. So I hope you can do the standard diagram for the human male as I have introduced you. This one is the acrosome, and now back to the components of middle piece. The component of middle piece, you can see the red color, it is actually the mitochondria that is responsible for the energy of sperm. Now back to the next important part of the middle piece. This one is the centriole. The green color structure in between the middle piece is actually the centriole. Now back to the labeling of sperm cell. The head, sperm can be categorized into head, the middle piece and the tail. Now back to the other part of the sperm. This one is the acrosome. This is the ridge between the acrosome to head, that is known as galea. The outer envelope is plasma membrane and the inner head is filled by the nucleus containing chromosomal material. Keep in mind the chromosome is haploid in number. The chromosome is haploid in number, that is 23 in number. Now back to the this part. This is the neck, the junction between middle piece to head. This one is the proximal centriole, and the tail part of the centriole is distal centriole. Now this one is the mitochondrial lining that is responsible for the energy of sperm. So that is provide energy to the sperm. And this one is the cytoplasmic sheath, that is a middle of the, that is beginning of the tail. That is overall structure of sperm. Structural explanation of sperm. Not only the diagram, apart from diagram, the structure of sperm is also important. So let me introduce the one by one each and every point of the sperm. Actually you have seen the diagram is not sufficient because of having some insufficient page, but you can do the diagram as the neck region, that is the middle piece, is actually slightly bigger, that is that's slightly bigger than the head. It is 4 times bigger. It should be the 4 times in diagram. The middle piece should be the 4 times bigger than the head region. ये जो पूरा diagram है, ये head region से middle piece थोड़ा सा 4 गुना, means the overall head should be 1/4 of the total middle piece. Because of having the shortness of pieces, there is diagram abnormalities of diagram appears. So one by one we will describe about the structure of human sperm. Now back to the actually how do sperm form? Listen carefully. Sperm form by means of the spermatogenesis. Keep in mind. And before spermatogenesis, the germinal epithelium and everything from the journey from germinal epithelium to the mature sperms, I think over in previous video lectures. But in this video lecture I will describe about the structure of a mature sperm. Actually during per ejaculation about 200 to 300 million sperm released out. It means when the sperm get mature and released out from the seminiferous tubules, and at the time of coitus, the per ejaculation means single ejaculation may release about 200 to 300 million sperm. If the number of sperm less than 200 to 300 sperms, listen carefully, in per ejaculation, the abnormalities in human being is known as oligospermia. That means less sperm count in the per ejaculation from the human being. Listen carefully. For the common fertilization, that is for the achievement of a good fertility rate, there should have equal morphology, that is 200 to 300 millions of the sperm, almost maximum of the sperm should have equal morphology. And the standard definition, as per the standard theory, there should have 60% sperm should have equal morphology for the a standard fertilization, for the maintenance of standard rate of fertilization. It means इस 2000 to 3 ये 200 से लेकर के 300 मिलियन जो स्पर्म है, इसमें से 60% स्पर्म्स का जो है सिमिलर शेप और साइज का होना जरूरी है, ठीक है। और इसमें से 60% में से भी 40% स्पर्म का जो मोटेलिटी रेट है, यानी कि जो एक्चुअल में जो मोबिलिटी है, मतलब वो एक प्लेस से दूसरे प्लेस पे जो मूव कर सकते हैं, मतलब उसका जो एक्टिविटी है वो मैक्सिमम होना चाहिए, मतलब गुड मोटेलिटी होना चाहिए, ठीक है ना। एवरेज मोटेलिटी या लो मोटेलिटी पे वो काम नहीं करते हैं। मींस वो नंबर ऑफ स्पर्म उसका इक्वल शेप और साइज का होना चाहिए और उसकी मोटेलिटी होनी चाहिए, ठीक है ना। जितने भी स्पर्म है उसमें से 60% स्पर्म की जो शेप और साइज है, मतलब मॉर्फोलॉजी, वो इक्वल होना चाहिए। इट इज फॉर द इक्वल टाइप, इट इज फॉर द स्टैंडर्ड फर्टिलिटी, इट शुड बी रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द स्टैंडर्ड फर्टिलिटी रेट, कीप इन माइंड। नाउ बैक टू द अदर इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, listen carefully. The spermiation and spermiogenesis is over. That was actually in previous video lectures. Now back to in this video, there is one by one, step by step, I will describe about the acrosome to the tail. Actually, when you categorize the sperm, then you will find the sperm has three basic regions: the head, middle piece, and tail. The sperm has head, middle piece, and tail. This is the main part of the sperm. Now back to the what are the basic components of head. Students, let me describe the structure of sperm head. Actually, the typical part of sperm head is actually acrosome, and this acrosome is very essential in order to their function. And acrosome is named so because of having a very important enzyme known as acrosine. There are so many name of acrosine, and it may be asked in competitive examination, even though in the board examination. The well popular name of acrosine enzyme is hyaluronidase, and other name of sperm acrosome or acrosine enzyme is the sperm lysine, because of having well popular biochemical mechanism lysis. It performs the cell lysis of egg cells in order to make the outer layer, in order to crack the outer layer during the syngamy. Because when the sperm reach to the, suppose that this is the sperm head, and when it reaches to the surface of egg cells, then there is a need to break the outer layer of egg cells, that is known as zona pellucida. And to overcome that problems, the sperm head, that is acrosome, release the enzyme acrosine, which make the pathway very clear for the sperm nucleus, so that the sperm nucleus easily reach to the nucleus of egg cells and perform the process of syngamy. So that's why the acrosome is very important for sperm as well as syngamy. Now the second part of sperm head is the galea. You can see there is a little ridge in between the head of acrosome and the main head of sperm. That ridge is known as galea. This represents the ridge in between the acrosome to the head. Now back to the third part, the main part of the sperm head. Actually, it is encoded by the overall sperm body is encoded by the plasma membrane, but the sperm plasma membrane inside consists the nucleus, and this nucleus is actually consists haploid number of chromosomes. If the main body has 46, then the number of chromosomes is 23. That is the basic way to explain the structure of sperm. Now back to the next part, that is the third part, that is neck. Keep in mind, this is the neck. So how can you define the neck of sperm? The gap, the junction between middle piece to head is known as neck. It is there is only junction. Behavior of neck is only junction. Now back to the very essential part, that is known as middle piece. Listen carefully. The middle piece of sperm consists mitochondrial lining. It is very essential, one and only very basic structure that are actually filled in the middle piece. And this mitochondrial lining, as you pre-mindset, that is mitochondria provide energy For the movement of sperm, there is a need of energy. Keep in mind, there is need of energy, and that energy is bring through the mitochondrial lining in the middle piece. So there may be many questions regarding you in board examination. What will be the function of mitochondrial lining, or what will be the function of middle piece of sperm? That will be the two different homework for you. Now back to the next important part, that is tail. As you all know, the tail help to move the sperm from one place to another place through a medium. That's why the tail is actually the locomoting or moving organs in the sperm. That is overall structure of sperm that you need to explain also with your own language by the diagrammatic explanation. Thank you. In the next video we will describe about the hormonal events of spermatogenesis.